Next year, 2025, is a Jubilee year. Pope Francis has themed this Jubilee as Pilgrims of Hope. In preparation for the Jubilee, Pope Francis declared 2024 as a year of prayer, calling all the Catholic faithful and to all who read the Bull of Indiction to participate in what he calls a symphony of prayer, to better dispose ourselves to receive the graces God has to offer in the coming celebration. Now, other than it being a Jubilee year, there's several reasons that are cause for celebration. A preeminent one of them being that in 2025, it's one of those unique years where the Catholics and the Orthodox will be celebrating Easter at the same time. So in a real sense, as I think most Protestants celebrate Easter as the same time as the Catholics, in a real sense, Christians all over the world will be celebrating Easter at the same time. It happens periodically, but it's a pretty big deal when it does. Now, you're probably already thinking, but it's September already, and there's only 4 months left in 2024. Well, that leaves plenty of time for you to start your own conversations with God. As the cliche goes, there's no better time to get started than right now. So I wanted to offer to you a way of participating in the 2024 Symphony of Prayer, if you haven't done so already. So I propose using the 4 weeks of September to get more familiar with the Gospels. Read one Gospel a week, maybe even read it more than once during the week. And while you are reading, pay attention to your consolations and your desolations. Where do you find Jesus drawing you into his mission? What moments in his life are most memorable to you? Or what events and stories stay with you longer after reading the Gospels? Make note of those moments. After September comes October, the month of the Holy Rosary. So after you've taken note of the moments in Jesus' life and mission that resonate and speak to you, take 5 of those moments and craft your own set of mysteries to pray during the month of the Rosary. To give an example, back when I was returning to my more intentional practice of my faith, I started with praying the Rosary. I was trying to recall the other mysteries that I had memorized in 8th grade, and I hit the joyful, the sorrowful, and the glorious pretty spot on. The luminous mysteries, I didn't know as well. And so I tried to remember them without looking them up. I figured I knew how to do this. This is easy. So I came up with these 5 mysteries: changing the water into wine at the wedding at Cana, healing of the demoniac, feeding the 5,000, healing the blind man, and giving the Eucharist at the Last Supper. If you look up the luminous mysteries, I come pretty close. I'm a little more wordy than they are, but I basically get the essence of 3 out of the 5. But what I had done is I had created my own set of mysteries about Jesus' miracles in a way that resonated with me. Now, I'm not proposing that you now replace the current mysteries with your own personal construction, but rather I'm proposing a practice to help build greater intimacy into the life of the Church. Here's the way I see it. As we connect ourselves to the Church, we are constantly caught in, I think, what Pope Francis would call a fruitful tension between the universal and the particular. This is another way of saying from what is above and from what is below. The formal mysteries, joyful, luminous, sorrowful, and glorious, they come from above. That is, they come from the life of the Church, and they direct our attention to the critical moments of Jesus' life and mission that the Church, wants us to pay attention to. And in this context, of course, I mean Church not as the hierarchy of bishops, but as the whole life, the 2,000-year existence of the Christian people. That these mysteries were something that were worthy to focus on way back when, and they continue to be worthy to pay attention to. What this also allows us to do is it allows us to participate together. Having these common mysteries and the common prayers around them, it gives us access and creates the opportunities for public expression of prayer and faith. But we also have the intimate and particular realities that come from below, where in our personal lives, certain events of Christ's life will resonate with us in a more personal way. It's important to be able to exercise that particular expression of faith that is lived in your day-to-day in order to inform and build up how you more fully participate in the universal expressions of the whole church. So, try this practice to help you cultivate greater intimacy with the gospel and the traditions of the church. Then, take the rest of this year to find other ways to cultivate your personal pieties that can help lead you to greater participation in the universal life of the church. In the coming weeks, I intend to publish a voiceover of the Bull of Indiction that declared 2025 the Jubilee Year, Pilgrims of Hope. In the description, I'll leave some other resources that the Curia has offered as helps to prepare for the Jubilee. Obviously, use them as you find them to be helpful. And finally, if you choose to do this, come back to this video and share in the comments your own 5 mysteries. What theme do you find binds them together, and how do you see that theme emerging in your own life? Finally, ask God for the grace to pay attention, and then pay that attention to God working in the world. As the Jesuits say, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, for the greater glory of God, and we always are seeking to find God in all things. So, close out the year 2024 year of prayer, ready to receive the grace of the Jubilee Year 2025. Go in peace and pray to Christ for me.